It has been 2 months since 2025. The end of February is known as the month when New Year's resolutions fail. You probably said you wanted to complete a game this year, but you probably haven't made much progress so far. If this is the case, you might not be following the advice that all game developers give. Make simple games. However, it is important to realize that if you have never completed a game before, idea of making a simple game can trap you because simple is a relative concept. If you are making your first game, identifying a true simple project can be a lot harder than you think. So, what makes a truly simple game? The biggest enemy of the indie developers, never-ending projects. You try to make a game with a story, but the story is pretty boring. You add puzzles, but it takes a lot more time than you think to test and stabilize them. You decide to make an open world, but the map never feels full. That's why the biggest reason why first games don't finish is choosing the wrong starting point. I made these mistakes too. My first game was a project that I thought would be simple, but I've been going on for 1.5 years. Of course, I have an excuse. I started from zero without knowing any code. I am sure you are more experienced than me. Let's talk about the concept you should avoid when making your first game. If you are making a game that includes any of the followings, you are setting yourself up for a perfect trap so that your project doesn't end. Games with story and dialogue. Narrative is an art in itself. And if you have never written narrative content, you are probably going to write a very bad story. Also, your story may conflict with the game mechanics. This even has its own name, ludonarrative dissonance. Balancing narrative and gameplay is a long work in progress. So, why am I making a story-based RPG game? Because I am not solo developer. I have a team and our writer is an award-winning writer with decades of experience, so don't look at me. Puzzle games. If you have puzzle in your game, you need to test and test and test to make sure they are fun and balanced, because getting puzzle games into flow is really hard work, so it will definitely take a lot of your time. You can watch Game Maker's Toolkit devlogs to better understand what I mean. Multiplayer games. A concept you should definitely avoid. Multiplayer should never be your starting point. Open world games. If the game isn't fun on a single place, it won't be fun in open world. Open world just add more content creation load. Focus on making a fun game in single space. AI and procedural generation. You get into endless development. Instead, focus on things that have fixed moments but are fun. Platform game. While it may seem like just jumping, a platformer can take years of experience to get the feel right. If you don't have an experience, you should stay away from platformers. It is also one of the hardest genres to sell, so your effort can be wasted. I recommend you check out my video on this. I am not saying you should never do any of these things, but stay away from them for your first game. Learn the finished game first. So, what kind of game are suitable for a first project? The best approach for first game might be take inspiration from old arcade games. Games from 1980s were quite simple due to technical limitation. However, great games were born out of this simplicity. Pong, Pac-Man, Snake, Space Invaders, Tetris. What do these games have in common? They are fun within a single screen and the difficulty increases gradually. So instead of constantly designing new levels to generate content, you can keep the same mechanic fun for a long time with small changes. The best example is in modern times Vampire Survivors and Balatro. Finally, I would like to return to the word simple. Just because your game mechanics are simple, does it mean they should look bad? That's where game feel or game juice comes in. Screen shakes, particle effect, tweening. If you enhance the feel of your game by adding feedback effect to every small moment of your game, then you will have an engaging game. Check out this video and you will understand how a game with simple mechanic can avoid boredom. To summarize, here's what you need to do. 1. Start small, really small. You may not realize how small something is at first, so make what you think is small even smaller. and start that way. Avoid the concepts I've listed here. You won't know how hard it is until you do it. Your first game won't be a huge success, but don't let that discourage you. You will be in a small minority of people who complete and publish a game. Add feel to your game. Seeing how much a simple game changes with feel will motivate you. I hope this video was useful for you. I would love to hear your opinion in the comments. Have you ever started developing a game and then realized how big it was? I look forward to the comments. See you next week.